In 1989, I was 25 years old. At the time, I was living in Munich, in the city of Munich, in an international ecumenical dormitory that was operated by the Lutheran Church of Bavaria. I remember the sense of surprise and the sense of joy on the day that the wall came down. But there was also a lot of uncertainty around it because nobody knew exactly what it meant in the long term. Tears as well, I think, because this long-standing physical reminder of the division between the two halves of the country was finally gone. All of a sudden there were a bunch of East German cars called Trabants all over the place. The only thing that really told you that you had crossed over was that the landscaping along the street had changed. And then all of a sudden being faced with the reality of that. What do you do with all of these factories that are closing because they're no longer supported by the state? And what do you do with all these people who are now out of work and who are no longer supported by the state? I mean, it was a huge burden. There were several spots along the rail line where the border fence was in plain view, including the automated machine guns and things like that. It was a very sudden and harsh reminder of the status of the country. The fall of the wall was just the first stone to fall. Somebody suggested, well, since the borders are all now so porous, why don't we just go on a trip to Prague? In the end, we were just sort of like, okay, well, let's try it, because nobody could say if anybody needed visas, and if they did, what kind. The one reaction that I remember very specifically was there was a woman who was at the dormitory who was the daughter of one of the leaders of one of the major political parties who was in power at the time, and she just stood there and cried.